Welcome back to my dark corner of this sick world.
Who the hell are you?
Directed by bad movie royalty Fred Olen Ray, The Tomb features Sybil Danning as a sexy tomb raider. For about 5 minutes.
Long time.
But stay tuned for cult favourite Michelle Bauer as a lesbian vampire mummy.
Wait for me in bed.
Danning serves only to introduce tomb robber and Indiana clone John Banning.
About my money.
One of a few characters whose names pay tribute to 1932's The Mummy, as subscribers will recognise from our retrospective of the franchise. Although you may also recognise this line from a very different source.
Except that a man's dead, murdered, and someone's responsible.
What point are you making about your movie when you're quoting Plan 9 from outer space?
One thing's sure, Inspector Clay's dead, murdered, and somebody's responsible.
Banning has a lead on an ancient Egyptian tomb.
You've broken into many of these places as I have. You realize that this thing has been undisturbed.
The statue right in front of you is a tiny hint. This is the tomb of an evil princess.
Her father was so horrified, he had her buried alive in an unmarked tomb.
Who kills Banning's comrades and is revivified by their blood.
I won't follow you, but I'll be there to meet you when you can't run anymore.
Now, even if you can get over the fact that this is all 100% Banning's fault, there is still a problem with him as the hero.
Bloody towelhead.
Really racist.
What's one less Egyptian?
Also goes into a bar wearing what looks like a 16-year-old girl's pyjamas.
Crazy white boy!
I mean, the racism is a bigger problem, but seriously? So, good news, because back in the US, Nephratis tracks Banning down. And I wonder if Stephen Sommers saw this. The scarab beetle on his heart allows her to control him, making Banning a much less likely candidate for hero. And so, 30 minutes in, we meet our lead, David Manners.
Who is it tonight? Julie. No, Denise.
Better late than never. And the fact that he has at least 2 girls on the hook is certainly selling me on his heroic credentials.
You. May I come in?
But his father has had the misfortune to buy one of the artifacts that Banning stole, and Nephratis shows up looking for him.
I'll bet it's been a long time since you've made love to a woman like me.
Well, you've been dead for the last 2 millennia, so how much sex have you been having? Kalema! Pachite!
Nothing's missing, except the victim's heart.
Actually, also missing is a golden scarab.
Inspector, it's obvious that the scarab is the key to the murder.
That does seem obvious.
Nothing's obvious to me.
That's not something to brag about.
Oh God, this is terrible.
Cameron Mitchell summing things up nicely there. Now it proves that David Two Girls Manners' skill with the ladies is a key plot point.
Well, you don't think she'd help us?
Not us. You.
As he must seduce Helen, the nerdy daughter of another antiquities collector, to get information.
Thanks for the compliment. I am not a miracle worker.
Hey, this is an 80s film. Once she takes those glasses off, she'll be the prettiest girl in school.
What happened to your glasses?
Oh, I don't really need them. Oh, God.
And this resolves into a love story that's as well handled as every other part of the movie.
Oh, I'm not ready yet.
That's a relief.
Smooth. There's not a lot to love here.
No, this is hopeless. We might as well go home.
That's their date, by the way. Even with former Dracula John Carradine delivering yet another in-joke,
Nephratis was a lot more terrifying than a fellow in a black cloak and dinner suit.
It fails to be thrilling. It fails to be sexy.
That was quite a love scene. Are you all worn out?
Or are you ready for round 2?
Which ought to be impossible with Michelle Bauer like right there. It fails to be funny.
Will you two shut up?
And it fails in other ways too.
That's no way to act.
No kidding. And it lurches towards an awkward conclusion via the inevitable ritual. David and his friend Dr. Stewart find Banning and recognise that something is wrong with him.
Well, it's only a guess. The ancient Egyptian embalmers used to remove the hearts of their dead, put a live scarab in its place.
That was your first guess? They removed the scarab via some impromptu surgery, but what can they do about nephritis?
I've got something here that should stop her.
That's handy.
Stop in the name of Amun-Ra.
Doesn't work brilliantly, but it would have been a pretty unsatisfying ending if it had. Far more satisfying if nephritis is distracted by Banning.
You! I've come to kill you, you mummified bitch!
So Manners can rescue Helen, ruining the ritual. This is one of those films that was never going to be great, but could have been so much more entertaining than it is. If only they had decided who their hero was from the start. If only the ladies' man hero was a bit more convincing.
Are you sure you can't stay and keep me company?
Look, if you need me, I'm only a phone call away.
If only they'd let Michelle Bauer cut loose a bit.
End of game.
So close, and yet...
Oh, come on. So far, all I've heard is a bunch of crazy bullshit.
Thanks for watching. My book, The Mummy's Quest, actually has many of the same character names as this, and has an evil Egyptian princess. There's a link in the description below. What other films have paid tribute to the classics like this? Let us know in the comments below.